so that he can do evil.
Yes.
I saw Nosferatu twice. Nosferatu, more like Nosferatu. Good, not great. Would watch again.
Yeah. And
calling it a Dracula ripoff is like calling Blade or Near Dark a Dracula ripoff.
which they are.
Yeah. They're the same movie. Functionally. Is it true that Dracula is a Tzimisce?
In World of Darkness, yes.
Well, in Masquerade, in Vampire, he's a gangrel. According to my interpretation of the... God, what the fuck is the book called? It's the little felt book that they made. It's the Order Dracula's...
Coils.
Yeah, it's the
Coils
book.
Of the Serpent. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the book.
I have no idea.
And in the Order Dracula book, originally, they present 3 possible versions of Dracula, all of which are very dumb.
I believe that.
Spooky, evil, blood-drinking noblemen in a castle and whatnot. Yes. Not many movies these days highlight the plight of the humble real estate seller. Have you remembered to tip your landlords?
I saw a very funny meme of a Nosferatu version of the "No, babe, no." You can't leave me. I must sell real estate.
Right. Yeah. Reminds me of the HR meme we saw today that was like, "Hi, Janet. I'm Eric, and I'm made of sugar. Yeah. Oh, he's so sweet." And then the nerd comes over. Call human resources.
Answer eating Eric.
Yeah, answer eating Eric.
And that's the funniest one because it's the most retarded one.
The most stupid, yeah. But Night Danger redeeming himself here, saying Dracula is a Dracula. World of Darkness cells need not apply. He's not a vampire. He is a Dracula.
That's true. Yeah. Get it right.
The Miscellaneum's good to see you. Benjathan, good to see you, man. Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining us on the stream last night as well.
Yep.
I see what you're saying, and I think Nosferatu is more timeless mythic tale than Dracula is, but ignoring the history of its development is silly. It's the same story.
It is the same story.
It's the same one. Good evening, my friends. Hello, Stormcrow. I can definitely say that Robert Eggers made the greatest vampire Dark Ages LARP movie ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a fair assessment. You got the questing beast hands down to an evil science. Here's the thing. The hand movements were not mimicking questing beast.
It's very easy.
It's
what your hands do naturally.
Yeah, it's what your hands do naturally when you talk. But it's also, when it's the only thing on screen, your hands in the book, you have to gesticulate. Otherwise, you're just staring at a still frame. How's it going, Primeval? Good to see you, man. Yes, in the lore, Dracula is a Tzimisce. Unless you play the superior vampire game. Dracula forced a vampire to turn him was pretty cool.
In Masquerade.
Yeah. He got directly, at least what he claims, directly cursed by God in Requiem. We're going to throw you in Canadian prison for being wrong on this issue.
Be very easy to get out of.
Yeah. Well, there's not going to be anything such thing as Canadian prison.
Yeah, it'll be American prison.
Yeah. The Shucked Oyster review was phenomenal. Always a pleasure to see you fellas live. Rare occurrence for me. 4:30 a.m. might explain it.
Oof.
Well, thank you, Shape Take.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And it's not so much a review as it is an overview and explaining our perspective. And
my review is good and you should buy it.
And you should buy it. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Big congrats on the top 20 on drive-thru. Thank you very much. We very much appreciate it. And again, if any of you are out there and you got the Shucked Oyster and you have not left us a review on drive-thru RPG yet, please do that. That will help us a lot.
Yep.
Really helps get the sales going. And for those of you who have not bought it, check out the overview we did. We show you pretty much everything that's in there. And I think you'll be excited by it.
It's a lot of fun.
Bi husband and BPD wife team up to stop their evil ex-boyfriend using the power of cuckoldry. A movie for our time. Yeah. They can't all be zingers. There's if you guys have ever seen Neil Hamburger. He's so funny. Like when people don't laugh, he'll be like, "Well, it can't all be good," or like, "Come on, guys. Come on, guys. I've got cancer." I don't watch films anymore. I just watch the Red Letter Media reviews and feel vindicated of not going to the
Oh
theater.
my god! But they were dead wrong.
Yeah, we only got a few minutes into that one.
Yeah, because they were so wrong on The Lighthouse.
Yeah. Yes. It was honestly, they were talking about The Lighthouse.
It's the most normie,
yeah.
dog shit take of The Lighthouse.
It was so bad.
I can't watch.
Yeah. Yeah, my game started as new classes for D&D 5e. Then I realized I wanted new classes because the game sucked. Hello, was in the middle of watching the Questing Beast review of the Shucked Oyster. Good video so far. Nice. Thank you,
Thanks,
Rex2.
man.
Oh man, this stream is going to kill me. How are you managing to do this? Just wait. My psyche is agony. No one here is plugging the best Dracula ripoff, Dracula 3000. Get out. Ban that person. No. You're correct. It's the same story. I misspoke. It's more of a timeless film. The story is the same, but the way Nosferatu visually tells the story is superior.
Certain scenes.
I haven't seen the original Nosferatu since high school, so I can't comment.
I watched it a couple of months ago.
Does that gesticulation make you an Italian now? No, it does not. Requiem's Dracula does sound cooler, even if he lied. Yes. He was cool until the three possible... My interpretation of the three possible Draculas is that they're all not Dracula, because they're all dumb. One of them is like literally like a Bela Lugosi.
Oh, God.
Another one is... I don't even remember what the others are. It was
They
very
probably
dumb.
were terrible.
It was very dumb. It has a very good cover, though, because it's like a Bela Lugosi style thing that's a little more serious. It's a very good. All the old Requiem covers were amazing. Canadian prison has Canadian healthcare. Oh, and that's all I'll say about your escape odds. All right. Black Lodge Games, the best of the best. Insight and wisdom, they don't hoard. Compromises and apologies they shall provide. And DM advice is in copious quantities.
That's right.
Good to see you, Elf Hunter. I'm trying to watch tonight, but it's almost freezing here. Ooh, I'm sorry about that. And the power went out. Oh, that sucks, man. So I guess I'll deal with that instead. Well, stay warm.
Yep.
I'm sorry to hear that. I promise to check my P.O. box tomorrow and leave you a review once I have an initial view. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
And remember, the PDF, we went to great lengths to internally link everything in it, so it's extremely usable. And that was one of the issues that forced me to find a way to automate all this stuff, because that was just pure pain. Late? Why are you late? We're always on time. Robert Eggers' movies impress me technically, but substance is usually lacking. Wrong.
It's the substance I love. It's technically
also amazing.
Amazing as well.
I feel the same way about Denis Villeneuve. I love the choice for All the Natural Light, for example. I agree with you with Denis.
Yeah, not for Eggers. I think he's...
And not for all of his movies. Some of his movies, I think, do have a lot going on, but definitely not Dune.
Did not like Dune.
How's it going, Love Fist?
What's up?
Shanatsky, I don't know if we've seen you before. Red Letter Media also said that Alien Isolation was boring and terrible. The video game? That I agree with. The video game fucking sucked. The game is opening doors. That's what the game is. I did not see the new Alien movie though, but
Romulus?
All of my friends...
I didn't watch it, I won't
not
watch
Romulus, it's something else. All of my friends have said it's really good though.
I don't believe that.
I think the plot is probably going to be dumb as shit.
Here's the thing. I don't care. It's...
Yeah.
I get the point.
It's Alien.
Yeah.
In a game run but hopping in here on the slides, just theoretically, would you guys ever consider making any explicitly virtuous primitive content for the universe that Cults of Zack takes place in?
Thank you, President Biden. Thank you, Buckwax.
Yes.
Once again, our richest subscriber here, providing us with a $20 super chat. You're out of your mind, man.
It won't be in Cults, because Cults is about the evil.
The bad guys. But yes, the setting itself will have...
correct. Yes.
Virtuous tribes. Lighthouse is amazing. Yes. Like a Greek myth mixed with a Lovecraft story.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Lighthouse is the best
It's
Eggers.
the best Eggers film.
Yes.
Best vampire movie still is Bela Lugosi's Dracula. I don't think so. I like Bram Stoker's Dracula. I love that movie. My review of The Lighthouse. 2 dudes trapped on a small island and trying to find a private place to crank it. Mike from Red Letter Media saying that Star Wars fans were too picky made me give up their channel. He made the bloody Plinkett reviews.
Well, he's right about Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Like their like meme discussion of oh god, I don't remember what it was called, but the Darth Vader suit.
It's
they
the
perfectly
best, yeah.
encapsulate everything that is wrong with the nerd brain.
Yeah.
Of having to like deconsecrate everything and reduce a work into technicality only and like lore trivia minutia.
Yeah.
It's like what logistics company sourced the plastic on the buttons?
Yeah.
Like
holy
oh my
shit.
god.
Yeah.
Like fuck you for asking the question.
The Flintstones movie is the greatest piece of right-wing populist artwork ever created for talking movies.
I have never seen that one.
I have, and I don't remember anything about it, but that's too funny.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Watch it now.
I'm just going to agree with you.
Yeah. Oof. Sorry to hear about that, man. Yeah. Southern California is not doing well right now. Care to name a few of your favorite horror flicks? John Carpenter's The Thing. That is my favorite movie of all time. The Witch.
The original Wicker Man and The Witch.
What is the... we were listening to the soundtrack and I couldn't remember what it was called. Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson's great.
That's very good.
Alien, of course. I like The Exorcist. It's not my favorite. It's not one of the best ever, but it's very good. It's a very good horror movie. Barbarian recently was good.
Oh, yeah.
That was very fun. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is great.
Oh, yeah.
There's tons and tons of great horror movies out there. Classic horror is timeless and hard to replicate. The original Frankenstein is still one of my faves.
I've never seen the original Frankenstein.
13 minutes late? Well, you're only 4 minutes as late as us, or I don't know. Villeneuve, like any Canadian worth his salt, is only good 66% of the time. But when he's good, he's excellent. That is fair. Mike is dead inside, and Jay only likes gore and sick shit. Yeah.
I don't think that's a fair assessment of Mike and Jay. It is very funny, and it's not entirely incorrect, but I don't know. They've had some misses lately.
Yeah. Eggers is a master of substance and subtext, coupled with his technical mastery and vision. It's a marriage made in heaven, catering to my exact tastes.
I love
Generally
Eggers.
agree.
I love his movies.
Prisoners is great. Yeah, Villeneuve is one of his lesser-known films. Jake Gyllenhaal, filmed in Vancouver. The ending monster in Romulus also rips off Alien 4 in the worst way possible. I mean, I don't know that there's a best way possible that you could rip off the white alien human hybrid in Alien Resurrection. I do like that movie though. It's so dumb. Lost Boys is great. We'll stop trying to make these bald super tards god. I haven't seen Romulus. I can't even. Yeah. I literally just finished The Lighthouse before this stream began. It is absolutely his best. Only idiots disagree.
Yes.
Better with bacon.
Correct.
Absolutely correct take. Coppola's Dracula is incredible, but the OG just works and doesn't take 5 hours to get to the point. Yeah, the thing I don't like about Coppola's Dracula is his departure from Dracula.
Right.
Adding in the love story and redeeming Dracula at the end. It's like, fuck you.
Dracula's a monster.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
Oh. God damn it, I hate it when it jumps like that. I just watched The Lost Boys and found it lacking no good vampire lore. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Watching the pitch meeting videos for the Star Wars movies, they're hilarious. Pitch meeting is very good.
I don't know what that is.
My wife got so horny by this movie. Yeah. Flintstones, Viva Rock Vegas. Star Wars fans hating on the new stuff are like a group of cokeheads sitting around talking about how much doing coke sucks. Just stop watching it. Yeah.
Well, that's like all culture war
Aliens
commentary
has such
now.
good potential for games, but the only game that does it justice is mod for fucking Space Station 1314 of all things.
Thank you for the $5.
Thank you, man.
And for knowing what Space Station 13 is.
Yes.
Biden, are you going to read it? All right. I'm 100% not kidding.
I'm
It-
100% not
There he is.
kidding. It is truly a hilarious movie, even though this doesn't exactly happen in the movie. The subtext is, instead of starting a revolution, just go beat the fuck out of your piece of sheep balls.
Thank you,
Thank
dude.
you, man.
You're
Yeah,
being very
Very
generous
generous.
tonight.
Remember, we know that you're not our richest subscriber because you've told us that, but you did once tell us that you are our most financially irresponsible subscriber. And while we appreciate the super chats, always keep an eye on your bank account. I don't think anyone would think you were a big fan of the Nick Cage Wicker Man. I fucking love that. I've never seen all of it, but all the
I've never even
out of
seen
context scenes
Yeah.
are so funny.
Well, the Christopher Lee Wicker Man is awesome.
Yeah, I like bad movies when they get really, really bad. The thing
Oh
is
my
the
God!
best.
Talking about brief tangent about bees. Over the holidays, I saw this absolutely insane. It's an atrocious movie. It's not precisely a so bad it's good movie, but it's almost so perfectly executed as if it were a troll movie. It's called The Beekeeper with Jason Statham. And it's worth watching. It's a perfectly engineered, not even a satire, it's just a troll. It's what would the worst movie
be
with the worst tropes look like?
Yeah.
And I think I love it. I think I kind of love it.
Did you ever watch the Crank movies?
I saw the first one years ago.
They're so good. I literally think that Crank, the first one, should have gotten an Oscar. It's so fucking stupid and so funny, but it's such a good concept and like so well done. And then Crank 2 is also ludicrous.
Yeah.
Will we ever know who sources lumber for the various cults of Zahak when needed for immersion, please? We will not. I think Mask was a spooky movie. The kid was so ick. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
They Live. It's not really a horror movie, though. They Live is great, though. Especially the overly long fight in the alley. I body slammed my organic cam exam. Nice.
Nice.
Thanks for the positive energy, boys. Going to continue working on my Mithras campaign now. Good.
Hell yeah. And Night Danger is right. Evil Dead 2 is awesome.
Yes. Yes, it is. And The Shining.
The Shining is also
excellent.
awesome.
Yeah. After watching the Villeneuve Dune Part 2, I had to cleanse my brain, so I tried the final Redux 2012 Space Diver fan edit version of Lynch's Dune. It's now become my number one. I have not seen that yet. I
haven't
also
either. I
saw
want to.
recently someone was talking about it saying it was awesome, so I do want to check that out. I have seen a lot of the cut footages on YouTube, like the deleted scenes, and they would be great if they were in a movie. I want to see your takes on 3.5e style games. Surprised there isn't a movement for games styled more so like that.
I mean, there was a lot of 3.5 when 3.5 was around. That's why Pathfinder 1 was so successful.
Yeah. Near Dark is a great vampire movie, but it's also a Dracula ripoff. The Dunk movies, yeah. My favorite vampire movie is George Romero's Martin. I have not even heard of that.
Not aware of it.
Last horror movie that genuinely creeped me out?
Um,
The Witch creeped me out a lot when I saw that the
Yeah.
first time, but that was back in like 2016 probably. Barbarian has some creepy stuff in it.
The Witch might be the latest for me.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, Barbarian, probably. There's some really good stuff. Oh, why is it jumping around? This is so fucking annoying. I saw The Lighthouse 2 hours off the coast of Oxford. Was a press.
Nice.
I don't know what was a press means.
Press
Was a press
meeting.
meeting. One guy had weed, so ruined the night.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
One of my favorite things about Aliens 4 is watching Whedon work out the kinks in his prototype Serenity crew. Yeah, that is very true. I played the Space Station 13 mod for Aliens. I'm astonished I still didn't die. Yeah. The Blood on Satan.
Is that a movie?
Maybe.
I haven't heard of it.
I don't know. I will say the best Aliens video game that's ever been made is 1999's Alien vs. Predator. It's amazing. By Rebellion. It's still fucking scary. Speaking of vampires, I'm surprised no one's done George R.R. Martin's Fever Dream by now. I will never read George Martin. I started when the first season of Game of Thrones was on, and everyone was, it's amazing, it's amazing. I was like, I'm going to read the book first. And I started reading it, and I got like 100 pages in, and it was the first scene between Khal Drogo and Daenerys where he conquers her, so to speak. And I was like, this is fucking
verbose fan fiction
nerd wrote this like stupid porn fantasy he had. I was like, I'm not reading this. And then I watched the first episode of the show, and I was like, oh, this is verbatim what happened in the book. I'm never reading these.
Yeah.
And I never will. Nick Cage is amazing in Vampire's Kiss. I haven't seen Renfield yet with Nick Cage. I do love Nick Cage. Mandy is a pretty creepy movie.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Mandy was awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Color Out of Space with Nick Cage either.
I have. It's gross. I didn't find it super creepy, though. I watched that on a plane on my computer. SB13 mod for Aliens. Wow. And I'm the good English today. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know what this means. What are you talking about? The blood on Satan's claw is greater than the Wicker Man. Okay.
Maybe. I haven't seen it or heard of it. I'll have to look into it.
Did anyone see the original Mars Invasion? No.
No, I have not.
Buttquack asking about that. Crank 2 is hilarious. Crank was perfect. It's so flawlessly executed. Exactly. That's why I think it should have an Oscar.
I have seen the Flintstones movie, but it was like I was a kid. I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, that was the early 90s. It's also a good sequel. John Campea loves the Crank movies. Don't know who that is. Crank 2 has the lead as Godzilla out of nowhere for 5 minutes. Who was which Godzilla? Not the Matthew Broderick one.
No idea.
Couldn't tell you. If the mask scared you, you're a sweet little guy. Yeah. Flintstones was so miscast. Rosie O'Donnell as Betty Rubble. They Live is a good start to a movie with a horribly underwhelming conclusion. I fucking love the end of that movie. Because he basically does, it's the same ending as The Thing, where he goes, yeah, well, fuck you too. It's pure 80s, like, masculinity. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm going to die. Don't care.
Yeah.
You're going down with me. Spice Diver is unmatched. This must be the Dune cut. Yeah. Oh, God, stop doing that, chat. What is going on with the chat today? I don't know. What's wrong with the new Dune? Wasn't it the inspo for Star Wars in the 70s? The new Dune sucks.
Yeah. Dune the book is great.
Dune the book is
Lynch
amazing.
Dune is great.
Lynch Dune is great. The new Dune, the biggest issue with it is what they did to Chaney's character.
For sure. That's the worst character.
And the changes associated with her as well, where they made it like, really, the Fremen in the north, they don't actually believe the prophecies. That's all the Wahhabists in the south. Yeah, it's like, fuck you.
Asshole.
Fuck you.
And I felt, you disagreed, but I felt the aesthetics of the movie, while very cool and very much in keeping with how I imagine Dune in like its scope, it's larger than life, and that's good, and I like that. It felt too like antiseptic, too cold, no pun intended, with Dune. But yeah, Chaney's character is the worst, and even though he was better in Dune Part 2, Timothée Chalamet is not Paul Atreides.
He's not Paul, for sure. The OGL was the best, worst idea WotC ever had. True. I actually don't think it was the worst idea. It's just the best idea.
Nick Cage is an amazing, unrepentantly evil Dracula in Renfield. Highly recommend Renfield is accidentally a great would go movie too.
World of Darkness Ghoul movie. Nice.
Okay.
Renfield is an excellent character.
Yes, he is.
From what I've read of 3.5, it has the crunchiness of Axe, but totally in service of the wrong things. It's not that, like, I don't remember it being super crunchy. There was a lot of like
the thing is, there's a ton of options.
Yeah, and you have
That's
to do
yeah.
You have to do a lot of addition with like bonuses from everything, but
and I think Pathfinder 1 is just undisputably the better 3.5.
Probably. I don't know. I was never. I played a little bit of Pathfinder 1, and I was a terrible player in that game. I'm just not into horror at all. Oh, come on.
Aw.
It's so good. I'm pretty desensitized, but Hereditary kind of messed with my head. Hereditary was very good.
I still haven't seen it. You've said, and everybody who's seen it has said I need to see it.
It's very good. It's better than the Midsummer. I still really like Midsummer, even though, that's not really a creepy or a scary movie.
It's a horror movie, but not for the reasons you think.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's a breakup. It's a great breakup movie.
Yeah.
And it should have been, but I know exactly what you're saying, and I completely agree.
Which is exactly why what's the, it's not a horror movie, but it is.
Just started Twin Peaks thanks to you, Guy. Started an Axe campaign that includes the shucked oyster.
Yeah, man.
Never give
Nice.
up on the mission from God.
Awesome.
We never will.
Yeah.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you, man. That's awesome.
Oh, geez. Under the Silver Lake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a horror movie, but it is a horror movie. Yeah. Under the Silver Lake's awesome. Night Danger.
Great
If
movie.
you haven't seen it, you should watch it and tell us what you think.
Oh, yeah.
I'd recommend South Korean horror. I Saw the Devil is one where the officer's girlfriend gets murdered by a serial killer, and he just spends the film making his life hell after he tracks them down. Interesting. I hope you mean the serial killer tracks down the cop. No. Betty Roble. We're getting the deep Flintstones movie lore. Betty Roble is supposed to be a simple, somewhat pretty, but overall mid-tier woman with a good and loyal heart. So I think having an uglier chick play her is fine. Okay. 3.5. I haven't read those books in a while. Which spoiled for me. It was still great, but had zero impact. I'm still mad.
Well, what's great is you can't really spoil The Witch. Like, there is a witch. It's not a metaphor. It's revealed in like the first 3 to 4 minutes.
The witch looks into the camera, just like Willem Dafoe in this movie.
Yeah.
Looks into the camera and says,
the movie's about a witch. This isn't a metaphor.
It is
Please
literally,
stop saying
I am
that it
literally
is.
the witch. Yeah. Ari Aster is a sick little freak. He should be locked up. He's the guy who did Midsummer.
Yeah.
I wish I could see Nosferatu in the theater, but I have family issues. Gonna have to wait. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. You're having family issues. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
And if you can see it in the theater, see it in the theater. But
Yeah.
it's just a movie. You know.
Yeah. You like me, lobster. You're fond of me, lobster. I seen it.
I seen it. Why'd you spill
Your beans?
Beans. What about Martin? That was a fucked up vampire movie. I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
We'll have to see it.
Yep.
My Heart Belongs to 5E. Interesting. Martin by George A. Romero is a fun vampire film. Okay. I haven't done a deep read of it, but from what I saw, it seemed to have an almost video gamey level of codification and crunch, and not in a cool way.
Yeah, 3.5. Yeah. 3.5. 3.0 came out in 2000. Video games are starting to come into their own. They took it even further in 4th edition and rolled it back in 5e.
Yeah. Color Out of Space was very good. A few months ago, I attended a screening in Providence with the director.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
You telling me, reminding me about Mandy, makes me want to watch Mandy again.
That's a good movie. It's really good.
It's a D&D movie.
It is actually a D&D movie.
It is a D&D movie.
Very,
we cracked that code. Yeah. And correctly predicted what was going to happen based on D&D tropes.
Yeah. Blood on Satan's Claw is simultaneously the best werewolf movie and the best creepy English hippie cult in the British countryside movie. Trying to trick us into watching a werewolf movie. I see. I see.
There was a movie.
What's up, Patty?
I don't remember the name of it, but it was like a Welsh folk horror movie. Very similar in tone to the modern day. I think it must have came out in the 90s, maybe the late 80s. It was very good. Very like subdued scope. There are no crazy monsters or demons kicking around. I can't remember the name of it, but it was very good. If anybody knows, let me know, because I wanna rewatch it, but I can't recall what it was called.
Yeah.
Welsh folk horror movie.
Midnight Mass on Netflix is amazing. It's very,
I need to
very
watch
good.
that. You've told me I need to watch it.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Best 80s masculine movie is Big Trouble in Little China, 100%. I fucking love that movie. Love that movie. Kurt Russell is my favorite actor. If I'm not back in 10 minutes, call the president. Yeah. Can someone tell me what's going on here? I'm feeling a little like an outsider. Half an hour of vampire cinema discussion and not a single mention of the Y2K classic My Little Vampire.
I haven't even heard of that. Have you?
Is that the one where the kid is a vampire and it's like a kid's movie? I never saw it, but I think I know what you're talking about. The book Dune is good. I will never read the other Herbert. Yeah, neither will I. Dune is a very good book, and I know what happens after Dune, and I know that Herbert was mad that people didn't get it in the way that he wanted to.
Which
but
is
I'm
something
sorry, don't fucking write a book about rad, awesome people, awesome heroes,
and then get pissed off when people take the correct message.
Right.
Yeah. And we see this.
But then he goes on and does another weirder hero's journey where Leto is still the hero in the end, even though he's the evil.
All right, let me do this. Ah, shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I made him a worm, but he still is a hero somehow. I haven't read any of the other Herbert books, and I won't. And this happens all the time. And this makes me think of Mass Effect 2. I finished Mass Effect. I'm playing Mass Effect 2. It's the best game, and it's not the ending of Mass Effect 3 that ruined it. It's this exact same thing. The developers hated what they wrote in 2 because it's such a heroic
and so obviously right.
So obviously right that it could not be allowed to live.
We're going to make a video about it.
Yes.
Just so you guys know. Can't have religion be a positive influence on a group of people for too long.
I disagree.
Interesting. OGL, bad for WotC in the money-making sense, good for RPG gaming, period.
But I think...
It's good for them, though, too.
It was good for them financially.
Yeah.
Because, there were a bunch of third-party products that got purchased and got funded, and a bunch of additional companies. But it's not like that bucket of money in the alternate timeline where there was no OGL would have all gone to WotC.
Yeah.
An additional, much larger market was opened up, all of which needed, at minimum, D&D core books.
Yeah.
So it made them money.
Nothing positive to say about 3.5. Okay. I do not miss Thyko. Ascending armor class is the greatest technological achievement in Dungeons and Dragons ever conceived. Number go up is better. Simple as. Axe is not that crunchy. There's just a lot of things you could do. Yeah.
Right.
Hot Fuzz is the best Wicker Man-like film. It is very good.
It's very funny.
Talking about Baldur's Gate, I found 2nd edition easier to adapt to than everyone said. Yeah. It's not...
Oh, is this...
Because
BioWare's,
yeah, because Baldur's Gate
the original
2... Yeah, Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 and Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Amn are all 2nd edition AD&D rules. My issue with Hereditary is the plot in the end turned out to be basically just Rosemary's Baby with extra steps. Yeah, but the thing is, it's not always about the plot. It's like movies. This is like the argument with the Lighthouse. It's a movie with a, like, if you said, what's the plot of The Lighthouse? Sure, someone will come up with one line thing of, you know, two guys trying to jerk off or whatever. Someone said that earlier. It's a movie that has so much going on. It's very abstract. I don't always need the plot to be good. It's about the atmosphere, the mise en scene. You know, it's about, a movie can make you feel a certain kind of way, you know. And if a movie makes you feel a certain kind of way, it's a good movie. And Hereditary definitely did that. And I kind of liked how fucking dumb the ending is. Hundreds of Beavers, best film I saw last year. What's the strangest way you watched a horror film? I had an opportunity to watch the entirety of Child's Play on mute.
I don't know that I've had a weird watch experience.
I just want it to be quiet and dark.
Yeah.
I saw The Devil as Hannibal Lecter kills James Bond's wife. Nice. Hilarity ensues. 3.5 is directly responsible for all those unfunny, wretched, normie memes came from.
There are a lot of wretched, normie memes. I'm not sure.
I don't know what this one means. Psycho Gorman.
Oh, that's the schlock movie that Mike and Jay are always talking about. Some like guy in a rubber suit or something. It's a apparently very terrible movie, but I guess a so bad it's good. Yeah, trauma-like thing.
Maybe the witch was the family members we sacrificed along the way. I think it was just the witch. I do like trauma movies. I suggest you see Saw, Australian horror movie starring Don Glover. 4E was the video game D&D. It's the culmination of that for sure. Yeah. If you never saw Forever Night, that show is super referenced in Bloodlines 1. They even named LaCroix and Jeanette after the characters in the show. I've never seen it.
Never heard of this.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Have to check it out.
That is some interesting lore. Anyone here seen Silent Running, sci-fi hippie movie from the 70s? I have not. I've heard of it, though. Which is enough for me to say that I'm a fan. You could really see the influence of video games on tabletop. Cyberpunk 2030X was a good example. Leaned way too far from what its own medium is. That's a shame.
Yeah.
We watched Lisa Frankenstein. My wife loved it. It was all right, but I did really enjoy watching it. Interesting.
Nice.
Son of a bitch must pay. Big Trouble in Little China is the best action comedy of all time. It's great. It's also, from what I understand, considered the spiritual sequel to The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, which is a phenomenal movie.
It is.
And again, we were talking about this on Dunder Moose the other day, and I've made this point before, but we were talking about how, you know, if you take things more seriously, it's more like it's funnier.
Yeah.
And the example we used last night was from
Mulholland Drive.
Mulholland Drive. There's a scene where a hitman does a hit, and then it goes horribly, horribly wrong, and it's hilarious. But the characters in the scene are taking it very seriously, and that's why it's funny. Buckaroo Banzai is that times a million, because Buckaroo Banzai is a famous martial artist, brain surgeon, rock star, astrophysicist. And they play it so straight the whole time, and it's so absurd.
It's not
and
tongue in
so funny.
cheek.
Yeah. They save the vampire in that movie. What kind of vampire movie is that? Let the Right One In. The Swedish one, not the American remake, is great. I take the opposite stance on this. Let the Right One In is great. I loved Let Me In, though, the American version, strangely, which had that, what's her name, Chloe Grace Moretz. I loved the 80s Reagan thing, and there was some things about the visuals I liked more. I still thought it was a very good movie.
Oh, Blackcoat's Daughter. You showed me that. Awesome.
Blackcoat's Daughter as well. That's also contemporary of The Witch, though, around 2015-ish.
Was that when it came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor are great, too, if you liked Midnight Mass. I love The Haunting of Hill House. I did not like Bly Manor. I did not like Bly Manor at all. Haunting of Hill House is phenomenal, though. My Little Vampire was the kid from Simon Little? Probably. Paul is a bad name for a sci-fi protagonist. I protest Dune based on this fact alone. That's a good objection. Duncan become the hero Chad in Dune. I didn't like that they theoretically brought Duncan back like a million times, and then when his son made more books, he's a Kwisatz Haderach somehow, and they bring him back. It's terrible. I tried to read Dune, and the prose just genuinely pissed me off, and I couldn't keep going. We'll probably try again soon. That's a good enough reason to not like something.
Yeah.
What and who do you think the best interpretation or explanation of a werewolf existing in media or in an RPG?
Interpretation or explanation for a werewolf
Like, what's
existing?
the best werewolf mythology? I
don't know.
I liked someone brought this up on the last stream when we were talking about vampires versus werewolves, and he said that the original one of the original kind of folklore versions of the werewolf is that it was a male witch, which I think is very cool.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Mass Effect 2 is the best in the series. Only hipsters and morons think 1 is better.
Yes, correct.
I have the poster up in the childhood room still. Let me in and let the right one in. Double movie night. Yep. Religion comment was basically what Denis Villeneuve viewed Dune as. Yeah, the Fremen only. Yeah. Okay, that totally makes sense.
Yes.
Xbox got Mass Effect 2. Master Race PS3 got Heavy Rain. We win.
Well, I subscribe to the PC Master Race, and I'm playing it on PC.
I do as well. If you have not seen, go look up at some point Heavy Rain, but failing every QuickTime event. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
And so I did not have a PS3.
Nor did
but I watched. I hung with my friend while he played it, and I hated it. I hated the mystery. I hated the reveal and the story
and the game,
which I didn't play, but I saw someone else play, and I did play Indigo Prophecy for the Xbox because everybody said it was amazing, so deep, and it's not.
Yeah,
I hated it.
Yeah. Has there ever been a deep video game?
I was trying to think of something funny to say. A deep video game like Dr. Mario or something. But I don't know.
Number go up, apes strong together.
Yeah,
exactly. This guy gets it. 2E was my favorite D&D. It has the best aesthetics, for sure. New atheist detected in the chat. Initiate electroshock Catholicism conversion protocols. Yeah. Two guys try to jerk off. Why try? Gentlemen Broncos is a greatest film. I haven't seen that either. Not much of a plot at all. I watched the 10 Police Academy movies in one sitting. That was a horror experience.
Damn.
Have you tried watching the Police Academy television series that was made? It's very bad. I love Black Phillip. Yeah, Black Phillip was great. Forever Night was a great late night show. God, stop doing that. Forever Night. Bum, bum, bum. If you don't know, the original version of Big Trouble in Little China was in the Old West, then rewritten to take place in the modern world, which was the correct choice. It's so much better if it takes place in Chinatown in the 80s. Glad you mentioned Mass Effect. Later Dragon Ages handled lore like an apology for Origins. Quinari were foreign and scary. They even tackled trans issues with depth in Inquisition.
I have many things to say about the Dragon Age series, which does not include Veilguard because I haven't and won't play it. And I want to make videos about that.
Yeah.
Origins is the only good Dragon Age game.
I saw Mulholland Drive with my dad and his girlfriend and my brother when I was 13, but I swear I don't remember the dream scene. I do remember the other scene. Yeah, everybody does. Beyond Two Souls is pretty bad. Heavy Rain is awful. Yep, we got lots of chads in the chat.
A lot of correct opinions here.
Werewolves are to me symbolic of the civilized intellectual mind at odds with baser, more animalistic primal instincts.
That's
yeah,
like
I can't stop seeing a werewolf just as like it's a dog. Like it's just a dog.
It's not that deep.
Dig Dug is a deep video game.
That's true. Yeah.
Did y'all see the X series? I was much bigger on Pearl, but I haven't seen
This
the
is
new
the
one.
Mia Goth duo or trio of movies. I think they're making a third one now where I watched the Red Letter Media review of one of them or the other. I don't remember which one. People say that it's great, and Mia Goth, her acting is amazing. I haven't seen it, but I want to. I think when the third one comes out, I'm just gonna watch all of them.
Who is Mia Goth again?
Some actress. I don't know. I can't tell you what else she's been in. I don't know.
Silent Hill 1 and 2 were pretty deep.
Lemmings is pretty deep if you think about it.
Yeah. Minecraft. There we go.
Yeah.
Subnautica. There we go. 10 Police Academy movies. Yeah. No, we can never let things just die. Dragon Age Origins sold itself on blood and tits and was better for it. Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad sales pitch.
That's true.
Spec Ops The Line is about the closest a video game has gotten to being deep.
Serious Sam. It's in the name.
Yeah,
serious.
It is serious. It's a subscribe. Okay. A legit Mortal Kombat should look and feel like a mix of Enter the Dragon and Big Trouble in Little China.
I love the mid-90s Mortal Kombat movie, unironically.
Yeah.
I think it's just unironically an amazing movie.
You have Connor McLeod as
Raiden. As a thunder god.
Yeah.
In fact, if you think about it, Mortal Kombat could be seen as a sequel to the Highlander films.
That's true.
Lightning strikes you
every time,
and he won the game, so he becomes the thunder god. It makes sense.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
And I have.
Yeah.
I do.
Every day.
The Proto-Indo-Europeans had a wolf cult that eventually gets associated with Odin. Very cool. Disco Elysium is a deep game.
I hated it.
I couldn't get through more than the first hour because I died several times because I maxed out the autism skill and
Which is correct.
Strength, and I was doing a little bit of an self-insert, and then I died because I kicked the dumpster back where the body's hanging. And I was like, I loaded up. I kept playing, got through some more stuff, and then I talked to a woman and died of
Big
shame.
mistake.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck this game.
Yeah. It hit too close to home.
Yeah. I think it was made by a bunch of tankies.
I don't know what that word means.
They're like the giga communists. Yeah.
Well,
which is
doesn't
interesting.
surprise me.
But you can like end up being like an anarcho-capitalist, and it's like sort of given.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
I think in a year or so I will try it
You
again.
can do that. I will not.
And I will probably reach the same conclusion that I reached now. But I really did not like it.
Werewolves were likely much scarier back when wolves were a common and very real threat. I was reading this as when they were just, when there were more werewolves
When there
around.
that would be scarier.
That would be scarier, yeah. Disco Elysium is the closest to a tabletop tier RPG experience I've ever had on the computer. Can't stand Mia Goth. When my ex and I lived in New Zealand, her mom lived a few blocks away. Saw her in a paper once and was like, "That's her? Damn. Thought she was some bin dweller." If you never saw it, Ricky-O, the story of Ricky, correct. Except that you spelled one of the Rickies wrong because Ricky is spelled differently. It's the Mortal Kombat film you never knew you wanted. They even have based Liu Kang as the lead. Yes, it's so good. And when his tragic backstory is revealed with his girlfriend, it's a fucking classic. We should watch Ricky-O. It's really, really funny.
I have not seen this.
Yeah. Prey 20, and it has to be dubbed. It's a Chinese kung fu movie.
Okay. Yes.
And it has to be dubbed in English because the English dub is very good. Prey 2017 could be seen as deep. It goes in depth the sci-fi idea and concepts at the very least. Hold on.
What is your criteria for deep? Moves you emotionally, provokes an emotion or introspection?
That's a good question, actually. What is the criteria for a game being deep? Actually having like real substance and
I think it moves me and provokes introspection.
And has ideas that are more than just the dumb shit that's in video games.
yeah. But that would also that would be the only thing that would provoke introspection.
And I'm not against video games. I love video games.
I love video games.
Yeah. Who would be
I hate most video games because a lot of them suck.
Yeah. It was made by a fusion of capitalists, socialists, and proper tankies. Yeah, okay. Who would be a scarier horror movie monster, Spencer Stark or J. Scott Garibay? Who's Spencer Stark? Garibay would not be a scary villain.
Garibay would be very easily overcome.
He's a great man. It was made by tankies. They had fucking Dasha from Red Scare and Chapo Trap House doing the voice.
Did they really?
Still a good game though somehow.
Who did Dasha voice? That's so funny. I hate it more now.
Sorry, it was not Mia Goth. It was a New Zealand girl from a big movie. Come on,
Having
President.
seen Big Trouble in Little China, I'm now wishing Carpenter made a horror comedy about sinister goth Dracula getting totally bodied by an American. Now I have an idea for a game.
Go
there
for
you
it.
go.
$10. Thank you
Yeah,
very
man.
much, man.
Thank you, dude.
Trouble in
Yes.
Mr. President, we appreciate your time. I cried playing Jedi Knight 2 as a kid
because it was
so
cool.
Yeah.
That's an awesome reason to cry.
Yeah.
This is so awesome.
Yeah.
I will say I didn't. I loved the original KOTOR, and I did not see. When I played it initially, I didn't see the M. Night Shyamalan twist coming.
In what?
KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it was awesome.
Yeah. It wasn't Mia Goth. It was Mia Wasikowska. Yeah, from the Alice in Wonderland movies. David Lynch would make a great horror character, potentially. She voiced the first girl you meet in the hotel outside your room. They later replaced all the podcaster voices with real, actually talented actors in the final cut.
Would have loved. I gotta look on YouTube for that. That's so funny.
Did she talk like this?
Yeah, it's like.
After the inauguration, do we get Trump reading the super chats and randomly assign numbered nouns as the best? No, we do not. President Biden is here to stay. He will always have a place in our hearts. Mm-hmm. It's funnier if Biden keeps reading the chats too.
Yeah.
But also the Trump voice is it's very poor quality.
It's not a good Trump voice.
It's not a good Trump voice. This is a good Biden voice. With that, I think we can talk about Nosferatu, or as I like to call it, Nosferatu. I thought
I've seen it. Also, I've seen it 3 times.
Yes.
And each subsequent time I watched it, the more convinced I was that I was right.
I have seen it 1 time. It was visually very interesting. Eggers knows how to make a movie. All of the sequences in the beginning, like when he's on his way and he's in Transylvania and he goes to the Romanian inn and then he goes to Castle Dracula, Castle Lorlock. I'm just going to call them all their Dracula names because I don't remember their fucking names in this version of the movie. They changed them. Yeah. I don't care. It's Mina, it's Jonathan, it's Van Helsing.
Right.
You'll know who I'm talking about. But when Jonathan Harker goes to Castle Dracula, it is awesome. Like it is
an amazing sequence.
Amazing set of sequences. And it follows this like incredible dream logic. We watched Robert Eggers break down one of the scenes in it today, like from a visual standpoint. That's really awesome. Like when he's in the carriage and he's like can't breathe, he has a panic attack, and when he gets out, there's a shot where it's like it's looking down at his head like this, and you can see his legs, like my legs are here, and he's sitting in the carriage, and the camera just pans up to his face, and then he turns and he's not actually in the carriage, and he walks into Castle Dracula because it's like this weird. It's everything's
it's all in a
together.
dream. You're all under under the shadow, the thrall.
Yeah, and it's
Dracula.
So good, and I really liked whichever the Skarsgård was.
Bill Skarsgård
was Dracula. He was fantastic. All of those sequences are amazing, but the movie by the end of it, it felt like none of the characters had any agency. This was a case of this happened, then this happened, and then this happened. Like I didn't feel like anyone was making choices throughout the entire thing. And I'll let you kind of take it from here.
You're completely right. Nothing happens.
things happen.
Things happen. No one has
anything.
any agency.
Right.
And what I really deeply hate about the movie is that is the message. That is the optimistic vision. That is the core philosophy of the movie. Mm-hmm. So much so that is how Dracula is defeated. And exactly how Orlok Dracula is defeated, it's exactly the same as it is in Nosferatu.
The original Nosferatu.
But the intention for Ellen or Mina's action, Mina's sacrifice, is an Eggers addition, which is just sublimate yourself to your base nature, abdicate will, and let the current of fate and destiny carry you to whatever is going to happen,
right,
good or ill. Every single character is a victim of fate, destiny.
Yeah.
And there is nothing anyone can do to stop it.
Yes.
Apart from just fixing one's heart and mind on just like the causality of destiny. And I truly despise that. I disagree with that philosophy. And yet also it's strangely at odds. It seems strangely what's the word? Not hypocritical, but like it's like that's clearly the message, and yet Van Helsing, Willem Dafoe's character, has a great Willem Dafoe. We both agree, one of the best parts of this movie. Greatest characters. He has many funny lines because he is talking to the camera.
Yeah.
Basically.
He looks directly into the camera and he goes, the movie is about a vampire.
Yeah, this actually happens.
This actually is a vampire. It's real.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about anything else. It's about a vampire.
Yeah, but he has a great line to Mina. You know, like to know evil. We have to defeat evil. We have to know evil in our hearts and crucify it. And I do agree with that. But no other piece of dialogue from Van Helsing seems to line up with that assertion. It's the complete opposite.
The end of the movie.
The end of the movie is
the opposite of that.
Yeah, it is the opposite, and that is an unambiguous good thing. Obviously, it's good that the vampire is defeated, right? But the sacrifice is portrayed, well, first of all, as a sacrifice and as an ultimate moral, spiritual, and physical victory. And in the original Nosferatu, and it is in Eggers' movie, it is not. This is not a victory.
No.
In my mind, at all.
No.
This is like completely abhorrent. Yeah.
And the only character that I felt really was a character, and we kind of disagreed about this a bit, is the character of Friedrich, which is like the equivalent of Lucy's husband in this version.
Yeah.
Lucy is not like she is in the Stoker version, where she's a little more amped up in the sexuality, because that is Mina's thing. And she has children. She believes in God. She believes there is a real evil here that's beyond man. And Friedrich is more of like the rationalist, like 19th century, or 18th century. I don't remember when the fuck this takes place, but 19th century, like rationalist mind. And he doesn't believe that there's anything going on other than the fact that her friend is seriously mentally disturbed. His wife's friend is seriously mentally disturbed. And he takes her into his home to try to help her. And he goes to extreme lengths basically to help her. And
right.
she basically throws that in his face at one point, and he's like, "How dare you? Get the fuck out of my house! Like, you demon! Like you've ruined everything
you touch.
Everything you touch, and it's you that's doing it." And here's the thing: it is.
Yes, it is.
It is. And
it literally is, because she's literally possessed. Not only is she under the thrall of Orlok, she's literally possessed by a or multiple demons.
Yeah.
In this movie.
And he has his life just utterly annihilated and utterly destroyed. But he was the only character that, in my opinion, was essentially making a choice and had something to struggle with, other than there's a spooky vampire that's real.
Yeah.
Which is a conflict.
Yeah,
it is a conflict.
Sure.
But it's like he was the only one that was actually dealing with anything. And unfortunate, it was just a very it's a horrifically ugly and tragic thing that happens to him.
And his entire family.
And your point was that this is Egger's vision of like modernity, basically.
I think because, and this is consistent with all of Egger's movies, and I do agree with this. He's making the point. He makes it. He hits you over the head with it. Again, Willem Dafoe basically tells the camera, and the lines are great.
Yeah.
And I do agree with them, but that the supernatural is real.
Right.
Good and evil are objective spiritual forces, and we have become blind to that in the modern day. I agree with all those things. I like that being in a vampire or any monster movie.
Yeah.
But what happens to Friedrich, his wife, and his two children, I think were unnecessarily cruel. The more I think about it, I think it wasn't actually gratuitous, but I do feel. So I think I felt a strong spite from the director to make this point and to sort of punish modernity through this character.
Right.
And it went too far. The spirit of the message was one of hatred rather than like benevolent, trying to teach you something, because the character of Anna or Lucy, based on the movie's own logic, should have been a vehicle for victory, because she is the only person in the modern time who unironically believes in God and is doing everything she should be doing, but she has to suffer and die after watching her children suffer and die.
Yeah.
In order that Friedrich pay the price.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. He got a really bad short end of the stick there.
But the thing was too, and the reason that is so awful is that Friedrich's character is not presented with supernatural evil in front of him that he then ignores and denies and rationalizes.
That's true. It's
literally just his wife's friend has seizures and has like melancholia and like and he's trying to do everything he can to save, but there's nothing that's overtly supernatural going on.
That's the thing.
The lights are dimming and the monster came in. He's literally just like he's like, I gotta get a doctor. I gotta fix this. He does everything right.
And he even, because there's another doctor character in this movie who's a great character, played by the guy.
Yeah.
They try all the everything medical science can do, and it's only later in the movie that the Van Helsing character, who's given a more like occult
he's like
aspect.
a hermetic.
Yeah, he's explicitly like a magician, but also a very learned scholar. And the doctor Sievers in this movie, he's sort of, there's this guy, he knows more than me about these things, but I gotta tell you, he was laughed out of the university for these for getting into the occult. But I'm confident he's going to know what's up here.
Right.
And Friedrich says, "Get him,
Yeah.
get him. Let's go right
Yeah.
now." He doesn't. Well, he's completely.
And then he goes and he finds this guy. He's basically like almost.
He's talking about alchemy and.
Yeah, he's like practically a homeless, raving lunatic.
And he still lets him into his house and make his prognostications.
Does what he says.
Yes.
Because that's the other thing. He's like, you've tied her to the bed. And he's like, she's raving. She's going to destroy things. She's going to hurt herself.
Yeah.
He's like, you sick freak. Like, it's like, she's going to fucking crush her skull. Like, what am I supposed to? I don't know what you know. That's why I called you.
Yeah.
What
did I do?
It felt so. It did feel cruel what was done to him, because it's just like that guy.
Yeah.
It makes sense if he sees the darkness and says this isn't real, but it's like he hasn't seen it.
Yeah,
and he has no reason to believe it.
Correct.
Because this ancient evil has not been plaguing the city.
Right. He hasn't seen the vampire.
Yeah.
He hasn't received any visions. And he gives a logical explanation when his wife gets sick initially.
Right.
She has what are actually plague rats.
Yeah.
Biting her all over the place.
As well as a vampire.
Yeah. But he didn't see the vampire.
Right.
He saw the rats.
Yes.
And she's getting sick, and the entire plague is breaking out with the plague. So, yeah, I believe that rats gave my wife the plague.
Yeah.
And not
chewed up her whole body.
An ancient Transylvanian.
Yeah, an ancient Transylvanian ghoul.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like,
and the thing with the Mina character is, it's like she basically calls out into the dark looking for like comfort and company, and it's because she's like super high libido. She's very, very motivated by her sexuality, and this is not a character who's like, the character's not like some whore out there, but it's the character is much more in touch with her like animalistic sexual nature,
and she's like psychically gifted. She's
attuned to
the other world,
these other things. And Van Helsing says this. He's like, these people who are more in touch with their base nature, it's like the
demons are attracted.
Darkness, the demons are attracted to these people, and that's why he's after her. And she had psychic sex with him with Dracula before he showed up, and all this other stuff. And throughout her whole life has had these horrible, awful nightmare visions, and then marries Jonathan, and it all
goes away.
Sorts itself out. She found like actual love in this man.
Yes.
And this is the other thing. He's trying to do the right thing, because he's like, we're fucking paupers.
He's completely blameless.
And his firm is like, go and do this one deal. You're going to be a partner, and you're going to get a raise. You're going to get a raise.
Partner.
You'll be away for a month, and you'll be back. And he's like, I have to go. And she's like, no, you can't. You can't. You don't understand. There's something out there. And he's like, look, bitch, like, I got to make this one sacrifice.
But it isn't even that. It isn't even, I'm doing this for us. He's not even chastising her.
Yeah.
He's like being gentle but firm.
Right.
He's acts 100% appropriately through the entirety of the movie.
And there's this part in Dracula's castle where Dracula has him sign some document that he can't read, he can't understand. But Dracula the entire time is like, I will just fucking kill you. He's terrified of him the entire time. He doesn't say he'll kill him, but Jonathan is terrified of this demon that he is trapped with.
And it's not just that he's terrified because he's spooky and acts weird. The second he crosses the threshold where all the crucifixes are over the bridge to the land of eternal darkness, where the castle is, he's in a nightmare dream place. He's in the shadow of the vampire.
Right.
So it's not just a material
right
fear of self-preservation. I'm, my being is exposed here before in the house of this demon.
Yeah, and the demon basically offers him gold, like an extra bonus in gold, and says, like, sign this thing.
Yeah.
It was not clear to me if he understood what he was signing.
If that was the message, that there's some sort of like subconscious like import that Harker intuited but signed his name anyway, it was atrociously conveyed.
Yeah. So it's basically like he abdicates his love for the woman to get
and I'm sure
money,
that's
because
what the
money's what he wanted.
Yeah, that's what the contract says in the demon language.
Yeah.
But
Romanian.
But that's not what Harker thought.
No. It's like, that's just like he didn't actually bow to Dracula.
Yes.
Dracula subconsciously made him do that, which is what the filmmakers just said in the clip we watched.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing fair about this, which is fine. Like, I get, like, evil doesn't have to be fair.
Sure.
But Dracula is later telling her about this and saying, like, he already abdicated his part of the marriage, and he did it for gold.
Yeah,
and it's supposed to be taken as that he actually did. He
actually did it, rather than he's lying to.
Right, and he was tricked and threatened into doing this.
Right.
And in the end, it ends exactly like the original Nosferatu. Nosferatu is sucking the blood out of Mina, and it is very clearly, this is like, it's sex, it's death, all in one thing.
Well, it's literally sex as well in this movie.
Literally sex as well. She's fucking the corpse man, and her whole thing, the way that she defeats him, and is Van Helsing tells her, like, she's like, his attraction is so powerful to me. Like, I don't know, like, what I can do. And he goes, good, lean into that. Whatever that is, do more of that.
That's the way.
Yeah,
that's the ticket right there.
Give into that base nature. This whole, that whole thing that, like, summoned this evil demon to us.
Like, do more of that. Keep doing that.
Yeah. And so she does. And he kills her, drinks her dry, but she keeps him there long enough
for the sun to come up and he dies.
Defeat Nosferatu.
Yeah. And that's why, because he makes this point, he says something to the effect of, this is later when Van Helsing is leading. The crew of guys are going to.
I'm Bulb's top guy. I have Coke. I'm ready to go to bat for you, Bulb.
Okay, I'm ready to go to bat for you, BLG.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for the $10.
You're very generous tonight. Yeah, they're going to stake. They're going to defeat the monster, and it's all for naught. But Van Helsing says it's Mina's dark connection with the beast that will redeem us. So totally along that same point. In the original movie, Mina's sacrifice is a true sort of feminine victory.
Yeah.
In my mind, I can't overpower.
Right.
I can't do what a man is going to do. I'm going to allow this thing in close, and I'm going to ensnare the beast because it is lusting or it is attracted in some way to me. I don't want this thing near me at all, but I'm going to sort of die to myself, and for love of my husband, and for love of God, ultimately.
And the city that's been plagued with rats.
Yes.
And,
Right. I'm going to sacrifice myself to end this evil. I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with the Van Helsing character, with Willem Dafoe and Eggers, saying there is such a thing as the supernatural, and there is such a thing as a nature. And nature in some way informs our will, and we should use our nature in accordance with our will in order to overcome evil. But that's not what is said. It's just, do more of the lust. You know,
Yeah.
keep longing to fuck this corpse, and then fuck this corpse.
Right.
And it's very clear in those final scenes that Ellen, Mina, is enjoying this
And wants it.
and wants this. That is not a victory.
Yeah.
That's not a moral accomplishment.
Right.
And that is not how evil is defeated.
Yeah.
So it's like the underlying philosophy, the actions are basically 100% the same in this movie, but the reasoning and the intent behind them are very different in some ways, and I couldn't be more opposed to them.
Yeah. Gorgeous movie.
Yeah.
Like I said, the sequences in Transylvania are just awesome. They're
awesome.
amazing. Yeah, there was some really. I came out of it just being like,
yeah, it was very disappointing.
Yeah.
And this is another thing, like at least in the
very well acted. It sounds every part of the movie is well made and good, but I didn't like it.
Yeah. And you're completely right about the utter lack of agency. In the original movie, at least we saw Harker, because he's trapped in his room.
Right.
At least he struggles to make a rope
Right.
out of the bed sheets and the covers, and he gets away. He sees Orlok escaping, and he makes his escape from this,
and
this prison.
he chooses to jump to the river.
Yes, in this movie,
he wakes up with a start, almost gets eaten by wolves, so he jumps out the window.
Well,
and
he
then
doesn't jump out the
No,
window.
he jumps out the window onto the ledge.
Oh, yeah, onto the ledge.
And then he slips and he falls into the river.
yeah, it's complete happenstance.
Yeah.
It's just causality.
It's just a fear response. Whereas in the book and in the Coppola version, he's being kept alive just barely by the brides of Dracula.
Right.
They're just draining him so he's too weak to move, but he's still alive. And he still summons all of his courage and all of his last bit of strength that he can, so he can escape, so he can go and save his wife.
Yeah, yeah. And another change, and I don't know why, except that Eggers truly believes this philosophy, which I think is 100% wrong. In the original movie, when Harker is going to the castle, at the inn, a gypsy woman, fearing for his safety, rightly, gives him a book on vampire lore, basically. Some folk Romanian book. Here's how you ward yourself and ultimately defeat the vampire. And it's in that book where the fair maiden has to sacrifice herself, keep the vampire lord until daybreak.
Right.
So that information is coming from a pure and pious place. And even in this movie, the pure and the pious seem to have actual effect.
Yeah.
And I would agree with that. But in this movie, the sacrifice that must be done, allegedly must be done, the only way to defeat Orlok, that's from a twisted black magician book.
Yeah.
The same black magician where Renfield gets all of his powers from. Like, you shouldn't be necessarily believing everything that's in this book.
Yeah. Bodacious Allen says, good thing you did that review on the Oyster. Now I'm seriously thinking about buying it to put it in my Ravenloft game. Excellent.
Thank you.
And it would work excellently in Ravenloft. And if you guys like the Shucked Oyster and you like Ravenloft, or you hate what's been done to Ravenloft,
yes,
stay tuned. We have more coming.
More for you.
Do you guys think that Nosferatu will make another appearance in SpongeBob?
We can only hope.
Yeah, I don't know. Trump goes to jail tomorrow. Yeah. Things that will 100% happen. Video game Garibay wouldn't be a boss, more equivalent to that Skyrim priest that yells in the square 24/7 in Whiterun. I'm part of this Week in Geek live streams hosts. Hosts include one of the guys who created Munchkin and other RPG books. Would you be interested in being on? We've been on the Week in Geek before.
Yeah.
We don't have much
Maybe.
time.
Certainly
coming
not
up.
this week for
Yeah,
sure.
because we've got next week we've got Todd coming on our show.
Yep.
To talk about Horde Wars Advanced, and then Ryan Howard will be making an appearance. And we've got a lot of work that we're doing on other things, so I'm not sure we'll have time. My take, it's a better version of Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's just a ripoff, you know, Dracula, Nosferatu. I don't know. Let me see here.
I'm curious
That's
what
great.
Night Danger has to say about our correct take.
I don't see him in here anymore.
Oh, he might have left.
Ugh. Because he couldn't, he knew we were going to be right.
right.
Yeah, he knew we were right. Have you guys seen The Last Voyage of the Demeter? I have not. I've heard
Not
it's
yet,
good, though.
yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed Demeter, especially... Damn it. Oh, fuck off, chat. Not you guys. The literal chat. There we go. I enjoyed Demeter, especially the setting and Dracula's humanoid bat form. I assumed it was a practical effect for the most part.
I don't know.
I don't know. If you never saw it, Defoe played Max Schreck, yes, in Shadow of the Vampire, which was a film about the making of the original Nosferatu, which is actually a film about method acting, full of a bunch of method actors. I found that cool the other night. I thought of that and looked up to confirm. Must be about the practical effect. Yes.
Yes.
I've seen the 1922 original version, but scored with typo negative, which is better, I think.
You're probably right. I haven't seen that version. I've seen the original, and I have seen the Herzog version.
I've seen the 1922 and the 1970s version. I have not seen Herzog's version. I felt really bad for the friend and her kids, and less so for Ellen at the end. Exactly.
Yeah.
Her husband did a great job with the funeral scene. Yeah, the guy who played Friedrich, who I believe is the guy who played Kick-Ass in Kick-Ass, I think. I could be wrong about that. That guy was awesome. Great performance. He felt like a hero when he agreed to go with Ellen and Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nicholas Hoult was phenomenal as Jonathan Harker, or whatever the fuck his name is in the movie. Herzog eats a blood orange every day on the set of his film because he was thinking it'll make him think like a vampire. So little tryhard Eggers ate blood pudding every day.
They're both, those two things are both gross.
Yeah. Nicholas Hoult, about a boy, skin's great, X-Men great, warm bodies great. That's kind of the consequence of tolerating licentious people, though. They do ruin the lives of everyone around them. I just meant it's cringe.
Yeah.
I don't know. First time I've seen the word
Licentious.
licentious. No one talk about how the relationship is in the ilk. What?
I don't know that like Orlok and Ellen. I don't think that's what Eggers was going for. It wasn't a grooming thing, I don't think.
No.
In that way. Although that is also evil, of course.
Yeah.
But
Right there, the psychic sex is clearly online cyber sex. It's all well done. Yeah. Session cut short. I'm back, and I remembered the super chat I wanted to make. Oh,
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Well, she dies anyway, so might as well take the gold.
a true player character.
Yeah. Probably the last one. All right, cool. Thank you, man. Yeah. The sex represents... All right, we can't saying bad, naughty YouTube words. Got my copy of the Shucked Oyster yesterday. Yes! Can't wait to play the role of 37 whores. Wait. It's 20 whores.
To start with.
To start with, yeah. It's missing 35 more? I don't get it. Count Incel 1. Mina in the Werner Herzog version was truly heroic, which made the ending worse.
Yeah, and of course he would make the ending not optimistic
Right.
at all. That is in keeping with his vibe for sure.
Yes,
Yes,
Jackie.
it is.
This is the Anne Rice fan club. Welcome. Love Anne Rice, nice lady, and the small inch vampire. So this movie is Dracula, but the message is worse.
Yeah. It's not a victory. Evil is not ultimately vanquished.
Yeah.
Even if the vampire is.
Thank you, Jackie. Make vampires great again. I'll go on Weekend Geek and aggressively argue with everyone in the most obtuse ways possible. Oh, maybe they're inviting other people that were not us onto the Weekend Geek. That makes sense. 24 was weak for movies, but Nosferatu was my favorite of them. Other considerations were Dune 2 and Transformers 1. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the best movie that I saw all year.
Yeah.
Love Ryan Howard. That's good. Can't wait to see his setting and game system. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
It's not a ripoff. It's an homage. Liam Neeson in the last Dirty Harry movie. Warlock comes back and founds 4chan. 72 Virgins. Oh, it's a 72 Virgins joke. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the clarity. We need your autism. I wish humanity was treated with respect in Nosferatu, not just the baser instincts, but I always thought the point of overcoming the monster was acknowledging those parts of yourself and not succumbing.
Yeah, which is so odd because Willem Dafoe says that.
Yeah.
And the fact that the gypsies in Romania and the Orthodox nuns and priests in Romania have the correct attitude and can kill vampires and ward off vampires and know about them, that would be part of the victory here, because there is a way to tell the Nosferatu story, and you could have have the Von Franz character, the Willem Dafoe character, basically make these points about modernity. These things are actually real. I do recognize that Mina has a natural connection with the spirit world, basically, and that is going to be a part of how we defeat the vampire. But it's not just lean into your base urges. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it seems like such a fumble. Like at the last, I just don't. And Eggers is so good in his other movies. It's hard for me to imagine, and this is so like fundamental of like a fumble from my perspective. I just don't see how it happened.
I also gotta say though, when Dracula is drinking people's blood, it's so gross. It's so gross.
And I love it.
It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, because it's... Ugh.
The only A24 movie I vaguely found interesting was The Witch. The Lighthouse was just weird. The Lighthouse is weird.
It is very weird.
I want to run a vampire game for BLG fans so bad. Do it, dude.
Yeah.
Changing work schedule might be possible. Good.
Nice.
Wouldn't it be cool to get an Avengers movie of all the Eggers movies, The Witch, Northman, Lighthouse, and Nosferatu, in one movie coming together for some dark stuff? That would be really...
That would be...
I would like to... He should make that movie, actually. I would like to see that.
Another point I was thinking about this, and it just doesn't work, but I was trying to... Again, like, this seems so odd for him to have made... What I think is just a wrong and easily avoidable misstep. It's not even a misstep. It's just so foundationally bad. With The Witch, that's like a feminine story, and that's the story of a feminine fall to darkness.
Yeah, it's the bad ending.
It's the bad ending. And in Nosferatu, this is a kind of feminine victory. It's the female good ending, even though...
But it's not.
But it's not, and I don't understand why.
Yeah. Dundermoose retracted his message.
No.
Well, we're glad to see it, Dundermoose. And hopefully you unretract your message. Isn't there going to be an A24 Backrooms movie? Oh, man.
Oh, jeez. There probably is.
Yeah, come on, Eggers. Show us how cool you are. Ellen/Mina craves for the darkness in true Gothic manner. She can't live with it, but also can't live without it. Except for when she was happily married.
Yeah.
So by this story's logic, the monster is destroyed. If the monster is destroyed, so is she. I don't like it.
Yeah,
that may be correct. I don't like it, though. On the friend server. Mm-hmm. Wow, we caught up to the chat.
Damn. Yeah,
Evil dies tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, it was it was a big letdown because it looks great. But honestly, and you said this as well, like even it's all historically very cool, but everything's shot in Germany.
Yeah.
It's very flat. It's very, I didn't like it. I didn't feel immersed in a world. And maybe that's part of the point of this being like a soulless modernity, but I just didn't like it. The best parts of the movie, that's why The Lighthouse and The Witch are so much, are my top two favorite Eggers movies, and the best parts in The Northman also are the same thing. It's this dreamy supernatural place. That's why the Gypsy Inn and Orlok's Castle were by far the best parts of the movie.
The dream, if the whole fucking movie had just been dream logic, it would have been so
much better.
So good. And in that case, maybe with the dream logic, maybe the give in might have worked somehow. I'll have to think about that. But it's like if the story had been the same, but it had existed totally in this nightmare.
Yeah. Because then the idea potentially is you have to, your conscious can't save you, your subconscious can only get you out. And that would have been very interesting. The whole story is part of like the hypnotism.
Yeah.
It's a moment or a much shorter sequence.
Yeah.
That would have been better. That would have been so much better. And it would have actually been a moral victory.
Yeah, I'll have to think about it more.
But it wasn't that. Regardless of whether it would have been, it wasn't.
I've seen people say The Witch was a positive victory for women. I don't agree, but these kinds of beliefs exist in the modern era, which is the most terrifying thing. Yeah.
Yes, it is the opposite.
Yeah.
They're the people who have it's only people who have already signed their name in the Black Book who believe this is a feminine victory.
Yeah.
At all. A victory of any kind.
Literal witches.
Yeah.
It's an evil wins story, in my opinion. The vampire is so much more powerful than basically any other film vampire. Everyone who has any contact with the vampire in any regard is ruined.
But that's it's the story of Nosferatu, and even in this, the vampire is destroyed, right?
Yeah.
And so like that is an objective good. It's such a darker moral message than the original story, which just seems very, very odd.
Right. What's your best Eggers movie then? I might have to give it to Northman right now, but I have to see The Witch again after hearing everyone's reverence for it.
The Lighthouse.
Lighthouse, Witch, and Northman, they're very close. Very, very close for me, though. And Nosferatu.
Yeah.
I posted the Baraska thing. Thought it would be great for the dark vibes when it comes to Zahak stuff. I don't know what that is. In all honesty, Eggers has a great resume so far. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yes.
But I feel like it's time to move away from goth, depression, isolation, and show us something new. If he can do something outside of that.
But the thing is, I don't think he did goth depression. That wasn't what The Lighthouse was, and that wasn't what The Witch was.
No.
That certainly wasn't what Northman was.
Yeah.
I think he's been fairly broad in his range, but has had a very good style and generally a very, I think, resonant message.
Yeah.
It's just I think either I'm fundamentally missing something that is key to the movie, but I've seen this thing 3 times and I've thought a lot about it, and I don't see how I'm missing anything that's significant.
Yeah. Lighthouse was isolation. I haven't seen all of Northman as of yet, but that was a man exiled, isolated. Northman is
exiled,
not,
isolated.
It's not about exile. It's
The Northman?
yeah, the Northman is about
Yeah.
righteous vengeance and protecting your family.
It's about revenge.
Yeah.
It's Hamlet.
yeah. Hashtag winning.
Damn right.
I really liked the lack of clear moral victory of Nosferatu instead of the original Dracula. The Gothic is all about irrational desire overpowering any propriety or morality. Like, yeah, it's dark. Yeah.
But that's
don't-
not how the story.
And it's not his intent. It's very clear that good wins in the end. The sun kills the vampire.
yeah.
Everything is set right. It's yeah, I don't know.
Because you could have told a very interesting, like we said, The Witch is a bad ending. Evil wins.
I wanted to run a vain game set during the Weimar Republic 1918 minus 1933 and have the god Wotan as the big bad. Do you think this could work?
The god Wotan.
Who is canonically in Masquerade, I think, a gangrel Methuselah. You could. I think it's
could.
generally a mistake to bring Methuselahs into play. It's just not necessary.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Weimar vampire would be
Awesome.
fucking awesome.
Yeah. That time
I don't
and
think
that
you
place.
need I don't think you need the Methuselah.
I think you get rid of the Methuselah because you have everything you need right there,
Yeah.
and people will only focus on Wotan and forget everything else. But like it is possible to tell.
No.
And,
Okay, this is. I don't think you're missing anything about Nosferatu. It just sounds like you don't like gothic dark themes. The destruction of the monster comes at a cost. It didn't cost her anything though.
right.
is the
This is
thing.
what she wanted.
Yeah.
Like yes, she literally died.
She dies, but what she wanted was to get fucked by the corpse.
And it isn't even so much the character of Ellen or Mina in particular. It's the message of the movie to the audience
Right.
that you do not have agency at all against evil. Destiny is ultimately fatalistic.
Right.
And the best we can do is to seek comfort in the refuge of our baser animal instincts, to
Right.
not feel.
And the reason this doesn't I don't like this too is that it's separating the animal instinct from the rational mind, like basically doing this kind of dualism. It's like your mind versus your body, you know, and it's like they're integrated, they're the same thing,
Right.
you know, and there is no integration. Like it's clear they're separate, and it's just given to your animal nature, you know, this low thing, this thing that attracted the darkness in the first place. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and this sort of dualism, it's also it's also a misconception when it comes to like secular man versus spiritual man, the modern world versus
Right.
the ancient world. You know, it's less, obviously this word has been compromised, but it's less problematic to talk about, you know, abstract worldviews or but the truth remains. It's not like reason and rationality and the fruits of science, let's say, or civilization are in and of themselves bad when anchored and sort of enmeshed within a mind and a heart that sees the numinous and the magical and the spiritual.
Yeah.
These are not mutually exclusive
Yes.
dichotomies.
Right.
This is why I hate Mage the Ascension, because it's the science. It's Reddit wizards versus Neil deGrasse Tyson's. It's like this is like I hate that, and I hate you for making it.
The thing people have forgotten with heroes is not that, oh my god, they're so awesome, but more so heroes live such brutal lives that they have to adapt in order to be heroic. Heroics are about suffering. I think it's about overcoming the suffering, though.
Yeah.
Which may be what you're saying. What was the movie Something Dark? The vampire family kids gets a blood transfer to cure himself. Near Dark. I don't think that's Near Dark.
I don't know.
Nice.
Tag
Thank
you
you.
both in friend server post by Boraska.
Gotcha. And if you're wondering what the friend server is, that's going to be our locals, which should be in the description as well. You get, if you use promo code FREN, FREN, all caps, you get a free month. That was the best vampire movie I've seen. I didn't even know it was a vampire movie.
Near Dark, maybe.
Interesting.
It's not ringing a bell to me.
You'll like Near Dark. Near Dark is excellent.
Yeah, they have to go through suffering to overcome it.
Yeah, but
I agree with that.
I think that's my piece on Nosferatu.
Yeah,
I don't have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, I think I've said my piece about it. I'm very interested to hear what Night Danger has to say.
Who ran away. Yeah, ran away from our very correct take.
Yes.
With his very wrong
The correct
take.
and only take.
Right.
And I don't know what Mike and Jay had to say, but I know it was wrong.
Yeah. Based on the
they do not
the interpretation of the
lighthouse, which could not be worse.
Yeah. I think if there's a positive moral message in Nosferatu, it's to not have a culture where you're forced to repress your darkness.
I don't even think that the message of the movie was about repressing the darkness. It's just that they're blind to it, which you can make a fine case for it.
But the other thing, I mean, if this is like...
Because Ellen wasn't repressing her dark... Yeah.
She's not repressed. Like, because like even she was talking like that Robert Eggers clip where she's like, yeah, it's about like the repression of the female sexuality. And
like,
he's kind of like, I mean,
yeah, I guess, yeah. I really hate this interview. And Willem Dafoe looked like he was asleep during it, which is hilarious.
She's not repressed, though. It's just that she's got more of it.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing.
That's a real thing.
And
they make this, they basically say
high libidos and low libidos.
You know, she has too much blood in her. They make that point. They say that in the movie multiple times.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not even so much that it's repressed. It's that she just has an appetite like he does.
Yeah.
And that's his whole thing.
What he says.
I am nothing but an appetite.
Right.
And she has a great appetite. And
yes.
I don't know. It's like a snake eating its tail or something.
I don't get it. You don't like me vampire film.
Oh man, that's a good comment.
Oh, Bacon will be talking about Nosferatu in a week or two. Nice. Hell yeah.
You don't like me vampire film? Oh, that's
sorry,
funny.
Dafoe.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe was excellent in this, as he is in literally everything.
Anything. Yeah, it's like he's one of those guys like Christoph Waltz who could just read the phone book.
Yeah.
And win Oscars.
Yep.
They're so good.
He's the best character, I think.
Yeah.
He's the most fun character.
But we got 8 minutes left. What do you guys got going on? We've said our piece about Nosferatu.
Yeah.
We've shilled the shucked oyster. And we think that you'll enjoy it a lot if you haven't already picked it up. But what do you got going on for us?
Let's see here.
Leeches equal vampire bacon. She's bored and she bites off way more than she can chew, and the menfolk have to deal with that. That's true.
Yeah, not wrong. Talk about the future. Well, we have many things in the works.
Yeah.
Is what we will say. And we have some videos.
We have some videos coming up. So
yes.
We have this. My dog is drinking very extraordinarily loudly right now. I'm sure you can all hear it. We have a video that's been cooking for a while on God of War, the video game, the new God of War games.
Yeah.
That will come out at some point. But we had a more immediate idea that we're going to be talking about, which is this whole like the YouTube is killing the D&D channels.
People have this so wrong.
They have it completely wrong. Some have aspects of it right. Like Professor Dungeon Master definitely got a couple of things right, but even he, I think, has the wrong outlook on this.
Yeah.
And not just the outlook, but there's some big factual errors that are going on.
Just incorrect assumptions.
Very, very incorrect things and assumptions going on about the death of these D&D channels. And we're going to have a very good video about that next week at some point. We're going to make a Mass Effect 2 video because Nick has some awesome observations about that. In terms of the future of our products, we are still plugging away on Cults of Zahak. We have almost the whole magic system done now. I think it's probably like 80% done at this point, at least for like the meat of the writing. It'll still need refinement and stuff like that. But
and much of the writing for the Golem creation, I'm going to be retooling it and reorganizing it.
And that's and we've got all but one of the cults completely mapped out as well, which is awesome. Those are going to be very fun to actually write the actual written part of it.
Yeah, cannot wait for that.
And we have plans for what comes after the Shucked Oyster, or what can be used in concert with the Shucked Oyster, which is like we said, if you are interested in Ravenloft, or you hate Ravenloft and what's been done to it, or anything having to do with Ravenloft, Castlevania or Legacy of Kain. We've got something.
Stick around.
Stick around. We've got something cooking. Something really good that I think people are going to like a lot. And like all things, everything snowballs and expands into other stuff. All right, but let's see. You guys said some stuff. Let's see. You guys said a lot of stuff. How's the Eternally in Limbo Sabat video going? That's been pushed off because we have other things that we are more interested in talking about.
We know what we want to say about it.
Yeah,
it's not for lack of vision.
Yeah, but we got
there will be a Sabat video.
There will be a Sabat video. Yeah, but it's just not coming out yet. We have it. We work on the things that we're most interested in at the moment, and it's just not at the top of the list. I'm going broke. Mom has health issues, stroke scare, stressed out.
Damn.
I'm
sorry to hear that, man.
I hope you do better. Praying for you, yeah. That's hard to hear, man. That's rough.
Yeah.
Have you read or played The Witcher? How highly do you recommend it? I played Witcher 1, Witcher 2, and Witcher 3 video games. I haven't played the RPG, though Mr. Max did a review of it and was not impressed.
I have the Witcher RPG. I've never played it or run it. I picked it up at Gen Con when it was released, and I do not like it.
Yeah.
I've also played all the games. I read the first... I don't even remember what the first compilation is, what the first English translation book is. I read it years ago. Yeah, good games.
Yeah. I'm waiting to receive the Axe books in real life. I own Mithras Core. What are the best expansions to each that should be investigated to purchase next? That depends on what you want. Obviously, I mean, we have an Axe product right here. The big Appendax at the end. The Axe stuff, I'd say if you want to, I'd like get Sinister Stone of Sakara, the module. Great way to start a game. In terms of Mithras, it depends on your taste. What you want, because if you want like a setting, they have lots of settings and they're very good. There's the Mythic series, like Mythic Britain, Mythic Constantinople, Mythic Babylon, Mythic Polynesia. I think they've got a bunch of these that are like real world historical settings.
And I think Mythic Greece is coming out in 2025.
Yeah, they're all very good. Everything by the design mechanism is excellent. If you want mass combat, you can spend $4 on a PDF, which is Ships and Shield Walls.
Yeah.
Which is the mass combat system for Mithras. It's very good. I haven't tested it, but I've read it, and it's very cool. And very easy to use. So it kind of just depends. And of course, for Mithras, we also have Cults of Zahak coming out. Late pledges open in case you haven't checked that out. I feel like crap. All the smoke is toxic due to the houses that burnt. I'm so sorry, man. That's really rough. Are you guys familiar with Vampire Hunter D? Yes. One of the few good portrayals of the half vampire, namely because it sucks to be one. Bloodlust is
awesome.
An achievement in animation.
Yeah.
I welcome D&D dying as a lifestyle brand, as do we all.
Indeed.
I I hope you guys do more GM critiques. I see so much bad advice going around.
We'll definitely have more things to share as we like. That's never going
away. Yeah. The Shucked Oyster and Broken Empires coming to you in 2026.
One hopes.
Yeah, one hopes, but might not be tonally consistent. The Basic Experts video on the fall of Dungeon Tubers was great. Yes, it was. Mm-hmm. Saw the Professor DM video. Seemed very go along to get along. Yeah, that's kind of what he likes to do, though. Like he's
not one to badmouth or
he doesn't want drama or problems,
which is fair,
which is completely fair,
because it just brings a bunch of bullshit.
It brings an enormous amount of bullshit and it pisses off your audience.
Yeah.
We're okay with pissing off our audience. We're different that way. But I think he's also, I don't know, like I think he got some stuff wrong in that video. But he's right in a lot of aspects, which is like the people who are successful at this, a lot of times are doing it like not only because of money, but it's a career for them. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's like a bunch of people out there that basically just hate
making money.
They
hate success.
And anything that you do to make money, such as shilling a product on your own stream for a product that you wrote that you think your fans might like, this is underhanded and like a scam. You're trying to scam people out of money.
How dare you sell me the thing that I paid for?
And that I came to your channel to potentially hear about. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so I am 100% on board with like
setting that
secure
straight.
The bag. Everybody go out and secure the bag. You know, D&D will finally go back to being geek stuff when Critical Role ends. I don't know that it will.
Things are not, if Critical Role ends tomorrow, it's not like we're going back.
Yeah, we're not going back. There's no going back.
The 2000s to the 90s to the 80s to the 70s.
Raven Lodge.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I hope mainstream D&D does well to filter the normies. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. He wants that to succeed in order to capture all the normies. Keep them out of our table.
We'll see. Yeah. There will, for if any audience is big enough, there will always be some sort of
Benjamin,
catch.
This is good advice. Whatever you do, don't sign a weird vampire contract. Your problems will get worse. Haven't done it. Ravenloft with Muppets. It will not be with Muppets. That's your guys'. You've already done that. We'd just be copying you anyway. Last comment I'll make. Ellen's appetite is not just prosaic libido or repressed sexuality, but every parasitic destructive urge, everything that you desperately want that harms yourself and others. I would say that's probably fair. Mm-hmm. What's the artwork on your back wall? I think it's Giacomo Baia, who's one of the
pursuit of wealth with no other higher end is evil. It's just as evil to hate the pursuit of wealth just for being the pursuit of wealth. Pursue wealth so that you may give it all to God.
Nobody's saying pursue it. Butt quack, come on, man. Give us some credit. No one's saying pursue wealth for its own sake. Wealth does things for you. Money is good because money is useful.
Yeah. Just as food is not eaten good only for like for the taste.
Right.
I do need it to live.
Yeah. What were we just looking at? We had the
artwork
thing
on the back wall.
Oh yeah. So this is I believe it's the Ride of the Lancers or something like that. It's one of the Italian futurists. I have another one that's I Can See and You Can't, which is Mercury passing before the sun. That is Giacomo Baia, 1916. It says on the painting. I like the Italian futurists. They inspired a lot of what became Art Deco. There's a lot of really cool stuff that they made, like really, really cool stuff. There's one that I want to get, but I haven't been able to find a place that actually does good canvas prints of it. It's Funeral of the Anarchist Gali, I think. Same artist, and it's fucking awesome. Not trying to debate, I promise, just discussing. It's amazing to think that smaller channels such as yours and the Basic Experts will likely have more sustainability than most mainstream RPG YouTubers. This is kind of what we're going to be talking about in this video, is that it's like, you can't, like the how to be a good DM on your first day of D&D school, you know, like, you can't make that video anymore. You can, and some people will be able to do it successfully because they're charismatic, they're a new face, whatever, but you can't do that for 10 straight years. You can't just make the same fucking advice videos over and over. And the reason that I think our channel will have more longevity, and definitely like Basic Experts will, and something he brought up in his video, is that he's like, I can't imagine
running out of things to
talk about with these games. Like, they're so interesting. There's so much depth to plumb out of all of it. Like the historical side, just the games themselves. There's so much that you can talk about if you're excited about it.
I was agreeing wholeheartedly with you, Guz BTD.
Okay.
Oh, he was making the point for anybody else out there.
Okay. Shucked Oyster is the greatest Axe product. Buy the AX modules, all very good, especially AX 1, 3, and 5. Yeah, I have AX 1 and 3. I have not read. I don't have 5. I haven't read all of 3. I flip through it and pick stuff out when they go into a hex that I need.
Yeah. Mithras Detroit.
The Witcher books are pretty good, but the author's pompous dickishness leaking into the books ruined them for me.
I only read the first one. I have heard, like many have heard, how contentious he is.
Yeah.
It's like the Alan Moore of video games.
Yeah.
I hate everything anybody else has ever done of my thing because I didn't get enough money, or it wasn't true to my vision.
I owned Shucked Oyster before Shadow Dark. Lol, backordered till February. Nice. Which I see is a good thing. Indie. Nice. Go.
Yeah.
Get the. I'm sure it must come with the PDF if you order it. See if you can get the Shadow Dark PDF and just get the game to the table. It's a lot of fun. Kind of like D&D Deep Dive. He just likes building characters and made a channel out of it. I don't know D&D Deep Dive. That's cool. I mean, like if people are watching your stuff, that's cool. But kind of the point we're going with this video is that, like, it's not the algorithm. It's not it's the math that is killing these channels. People just don't want to watch the shit. Like, your videos get recommended when people watch them, and when they watch them for a long period of time. If you have really high view retention and a good, people are clicking on it, it sends it out. It sends it out to your core subscribers first, does well with them, goes out to like this next larger group, does well with them, goes out to the next one. If it doesn't do so well, it stops getting recommended.
Right.
So if you have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and you make a video and you get 500 or 1,000 views and that's it, your audience does not like what you're making.
Right. It's not the algorithm that is arbitrarily making a choice based on math.
Right. It's the audience. And
imagine YouTube operates the way if you were just talking to a crowd of people, to your audience directly. That's far closer to the reality than the Matrix machine is picking and choosing based on inscrutable motives.
Right.
Who to promote and who to demote.
Deathbringer.
Yep.
I will be backing that when it comes out. Looking forward to that project from Professor DM. Absolutely.
Indeed.
And I think it's going to be a very big success. Those people are called communists. Which people are we talking about?
People who hate money.
Oh, yeah. Huge maladjusted retard voice PDF show. I like Professor DM. He's one of the few secure in self-promotion, as it should be. Yes, exactly.
Indeed.
And from what he says, we've never spoken with him, outside of like a couple YouTube comments. From what he says, it's like what he tells all the people, when like the younger YouTubers, when people accuse them of being shills or whatever, he says, take the money. And he's right.
Absolutely.
We are going back to the 70s.
Oh.
Are we now? It was hilarious when the critters found out how much Critical Role made, never mind how much they gave them for free to make the animated series Amazon then paid them to do.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm sure it was at least a social media dust up.
Yeah, but the thing is that the Amazon show was not going to happen so they did their Kickstarter, I think, and they made like millions of dollars on that to make this one 30-minute animated episode.
I don't know. Okay. Like a pilot?
I think so.
Okay.
And then Amazon just came in and like offered them a deal after that. That would not have happened if they had not had the Kickstarter success.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So the fans in that sense actually did make that happen. The only thing communists hate more than capitalism is when someone is better at it than them. It was too good a comment not to super chat. No, I'm agreeing with you. Okay, 100% agreeing with you. Give it to Famery. That was best. It was full agree. Okay.
We got you.
We got you. Money equals paper blood. Yeah. Money is evil when I don't have it. Exactly.
Yeah.
D&D channels were a fashion, and we're heading into March. I don't know. I don't think that's entirely true. It's like,
not going away completely.
Yes, the 5e era is coming to a close. There is going to be
things are going to change.
Things are going to change, but role-playing game channels are not going anywhere. Like we have had big success for our size of a channel with our Vampire the Masquerade stuff. Nobody's fucking playing Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah, this isn't like
a
hot new game.
Yeah, nobody is playing it. And it's a game we love, but we're not going to pretend like it has the same influence that it did in the 1990s and the early 2000s. It just doesn't. But we were able to crack 100,000 views on one of our videos on that. Almost 30,000, I think, on another. And I think some of the others will take off more over time. The Clucked Oyster, yeah. I always stayed away from D&D because I'm a massive comic fan growing up in the 90s. You had to pick your battles. That's true.
Fair.
People talk like YouTube rolls a D20, then decides whether their video reaches their own subs. It's exactly 100% true.
How they look at it.
Yeah. And there's also things on the subscriber side that are like, people are like, I'm signed up for notifications. I don't get notified of your videos. And it's like, you probably are signed up for notifications, but you have it turned off in either the app setting on the phone or the phone setting for the app.
Yeah, for the app.
Yeah, like there's multiple layers of like consent that has to be on there, and so
which
there's
is
just a bunch
irritating.
of stuff. It is very irritating, but it's not all it's not always how it goes. I found most of the D&D kids socially unreasonable. Yeah. Well, right now. Oh, I thought that said right now at the end. Yeah, no, it's always been that way.
Yeah.
I'm a Gen Xer. PDFs still scare me. I buy newspapers. Tome of Adventure Design. They just had a Kickstarter for world building. I don't know what that is. Yeah. All right. Became feature length. Let me see here. I've heard really good things about the Tome of Adventure Design. Okay.
All right. I like more good things.
Yeah, I wish I could play other games that aren't D&D with my in-person group.
If you're running,
if you're the GM,
you can do whatever you want to do.
Dictate what gets played. I'm doing stuff with Mark Reinhagen. Nice.
Oh,
Happened
hell yeah.
completely by random. That's awesome.
Nice.
We would love to talk to Mark someday. The Vampire Mafia video came out the same week my group decided to pick up VTM.
To be.
Nice. I got a new D&D PHB for Christmas and a Secret Santa, and I almost punched him in the throat. Secret throat punch is nice. I'm playing VTM sporadically, but still.
Excellent.
Yes, and so are we. Like, we played it at the con a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But the point is that it just doesn't have the same reach and cultural relevance that it used to.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean the game is bad. It doesn't mean that there's not people that are interested in hearing about it. There are. It's just not. It's not 5e, to that scale.
Of course.
Shrank my group considerably so I could play Mithras. Nice.
Yeah,
Left the only D&Ders behind. Good.
This is the way.
God, I don't know what they think is good with that new D&D book. I haven't read the PHB, but I have the DMG, and it's very bad.
Yeah.
And everyone who's praising it is a fucking lunatic. It's a bad book. I'm doing a VTM takes place in Russia as a Malkavian cop. Awesome.
All right. Nice.
No, I am not.
I'm not. I never watched Dexter.
Yeah, I got through the Lithgow season and then stopped watching after that. At any rate, we've gone 15 minutes over, so we're going to say goodnight to you guys and read the PHB. It needs to be shat on. No, I will shit on the DMG.
Many people have already
shitting on it. It's going to be explaining why this is actually a bad book and you shouldn't run this game because it's going to be terrible. That's another video that's coming out. Anyhow.
There's Frog.
Frog's here. Frog knows what's up. Lithgow is the best season, and Tome of Adventure Design is one of the most concentrated, worthwhile, mass for the money books I own. Nice.
Big bang for your buck. All right.
Cool. Anyway, we got to go, guys.
All right. Take it easy, boys.
Have a good night. Stop in the stream.